heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef. Everybody different, and what you be doing ain't everybody business. Very good women getting rarer by the minute. You the last of what's left, don't let nobody trick you. I just want you to think about it. Wrap your mind around it. Do you hear what
Peace, Shake, we live.
I just want you to think about it.
All right, peace.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
How y'all doing today, man?
Oh, great, Noble. Had a good workout.
We're good.
Well, I hope everybody having a good day, spending time with our families. Because that's what it's all about. The spirit of giving. We always in the spirit of giving. That's what it's always about. We're going to have a good time today, talk about a couple things. But I always like to drop a little nuggets before we get into the teaching, because education is more science. As we deal with the science, but we like to talk about some topics that may be interesting to some people, or you may heard of some things and maybe not gave you a good introduction to research a little bit more. But here at the BBT, we give information for you to research, and we can come together as a cipher and correct some things that can be corrected if you may want to. If not, then it's not for you, or you may not be at that level yet. But some topics that I like to bring up to the general public and to my brothers and sisters. A lot of things that I did in my academic endeavor, that I've learned and been able to be in those circles and certain libraries, and just being able to be introduced to the information, and that's why I understand that I'm a source of information and nothing is hidden from us. We're just not introduced to the information, and we don't have these ciphers like they have in academia fields like Silicon Valley and so-called think tanks, where brothers and sisters can come together and not just talk about religious things where people believe in different things, but can come together on some common denominator, on some solidarity, and be able to build infrastructure. How? With your own dollars. And just having a clear understanding, the power and the economics of who you are and what your dollars can do when you deal with your own people. So I just want to talk about a couple different trusts, and then we'll get in the topic. Is that all right?
Indeed.
You hear a lot of people talking about trust funds and this and that and the other, and what trust you should do and all that. Number one, I never tell nobody what to do. I say do what's good for you. And if you do good, and if you get into a certain place, if you're in a different geographical area and you get to the same place I'm going, then that's great. Then your testimony is just as good as mine. We got to the same place. You have to know what's good for you. Once you know what's good for you, it's good for the group. Understand that if we're talking about group economics, family. So the first thing trust I want to talk about is a revocable trust. A revocable trust. A revocable trust is good for people looking for flexibility in managing your assets during your lifetime. So an irrevocable trust can be changed or canceled by the grantor at any time, as long as the grantor is mentally competent at the time of the decision. If you expect certain life changes, you have a child or something, that can prompt the need to amend the trust. Consider making your trust revocable for flexibility. You see what that? Why you want to? You see some of the pros of a revocable trust. You see some of the pros of that type of trust, Noble. I'm sure you do. So you got to keep in mind that the grantor still owns the assets in a revocable trust. Therefore, you must report any revenue generated by the trust on your taxes. An irrevocable trust is good for high net worth individuals looking for estate tax benefits and greater protection. You know, you got a joint trust that's good for married couples who want to manage and distribute their assets together, if that's what you want to do. You know, it combines the assets. I would, for business purposes, that wouldn't be one. But hey, if some people choose to do that, that's them. Committed partners for easier management and distribution. The trust is revocable before the second spouse passes away. Both parties have ability to manage and control the assets, often with the aim of passing the seamless of beneficiaries upon death. A key advantage is administrative convenience. There's one set of documents to manage, you know. So I don't want to get too deep in that. I just want to give an intro. You have a bypass trust, and that's good for like blended families for control over disposition of assets after both spouses die. You know, when someone die and you be having that will, and I tell everyone, a will is litigation. What do you mean litigation? You go to court and attorneys on each side eats up that funds, eats up that funds. If y'all could have just had a trust and the family sat down and did things right, you would even involve a third party. It would have been settled. Understand that. You had to your business. But a bypass trust is also known as a AB trust or a credit shelter trust. It's designed for married couples. Its aim is to protect and shield assets for beneficiaries while offering flexibility to surviving spouse. In this context of blended families, a bypass trust could prevent surviving spouses from altering the original allocation of assets. You see what I'm saying? So when someone die and they're not dealing with a son or a so-called prodigal son want to come around when the mother or the father die and say, that's my dad, I need this. No. It's already set. Going on with that. I'm just giving that as an analogy. Not saying that's anyone, but those things happen in all different type of ways. But upon the first spouse death, the trust splits into two parts. A trust is a survivor's trust, containing the surviving spouse's share, and a B trust is a bypass trust, containing the deceased spouse share. So the B trust becomes irrevocable, thus safeguarding the inheritance for the deceased spouse children, and any income generated by the trust does not have to be paid to the surviving spouse. You see? And this type of trust offers protection to both the surviving spouse and the children from deceased spouse's previous marriage. You know how I said this is a blended family one. You know how I go with that, blah, blah, blah. It's also off limits in cases of remarriage and divorce. But the trust requires careful legal structuring. So you have to do these things the right way. Paperwork have to be done in the proper way. Qualified, terminable, interest, property trust. The acronym is called a QTIP trust. What? Trust? You can go, you can set them up yourself. You can have a lawyer. Bank, yep. Mm-hmm. A QTIP trust allows couples to optimize tax benefits while ensuring the assets are distributed according to your wishes. This form of trust is designed to qualify for the unlimited marital deduction, thereby sidestepping gift and estate taxes while providing financial support to the surviving spouse. You see this? The advantage of a QTIP trust include tax benefits on top of the ability to control the final distribution of assets. But the trust has rigid guidelines that must be strictly followed, including that 1, only the surviving spouse can be the beneficiary of the trust during a lifetime. And 2, The trust must distribute all income generated to the surviving spouse at least annually, which is different from a bypass trust. Therefore, failure to adhere to these rules can forfeit the tax benefits. To see this type of trust, we talking about tax benefits. While establishing a QTIP trust, it worked with an experienced a person that can do it. So therefore, it's just like when you're dealing with a legal rep, when you're going through a case. And I tell people, I'm not telling you not to get an attorney and a lawyer. That's not what I'm telling you. But what I tell you, if you're going through anything, you should get a legal rep that got your best interest. So if you do got an attorney, that legal rep, your legal advisor, can give you precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act, and can give to your attorney and say, what about this? What about that? What about that? As a pre-legal per se for your best interest, along with your attorney. I would want to do that, especially if I knew someone, that know this stuff. Because sometimes it might not work in your favor if you don't know these type of things. But let's proceed. You have a special needs trust. And that's for families with that may have children with disabilities. I don't want to keep breaking them down. I'm just giving them. But there's two type of trust. You got a first party and a third party in those type of trust, because if you have a child special needs and say something happened to you, you will want that medical care or that day-to-day needs while retaining the dependent's qualifications to receive government benefits, such as supplemental security income, which they call SSI, which what the American people have put in. You want those protections. You want that set up in a particular type of manifestation. Then you also have a asset protection type of trust. Now, an asset protection type of trust is good for high net individuals looking to protect your assets from what? Creditors or what? Litigation. Remember I told you litigation, a will is litigation. Litigation is someone trying to put claim or say they have the right to do this. And then what? It's going to start eating up that estate. Litigation. I call it tennis. But it's essential to set up this trust well before any legal claims arise. Otherwise, it might be considered a fraudulent transfer. How? When you get ready to get sued or something, you try to pull transfer it real fast. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, you may have another type of trust is a spendthrift trust. A spendthrift trust. That's good for wishes to shield assets from a financially irresponsible beneficiary. Say if you got that bag or you have finances and you pass it down to a child or a spouse or however or whoever family member, and they're not responsible with that finances and they might just jack it off. You can disperse that or distribute that in a particular fashion where they only receive a particular or set percentage, however you want that distributed. But it helps if you believe your heir will squander their inheritance, allows you specifics when and how the beneficiaries may access assets designated to them. Like say if you say, okay, man, I want my beneficiaries, hey man, I'm sending them this is going to be a college fund, but you're going to go to college and finish this and boom, boom, when you do this, and then whatever you want to do, that money is there for you to go open up your whatever. It's 15 million for you to go open up this. You just got to finish your degree and blah, 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 what you said you wanted to do. And you jump in the game with 15 million. If you don't do that, you don't get it. That can be in there, that can be in there how they can access the assets designated to them. You can state the beneficiaries may only receive income from the assets rather than access the entire principal amount. Doing so ensures that the beneficiary has a stable, long-term source of financial support. However, it takes away financial control from the beneficiary and can be complicated to manage. You know how that goes. But in creating a spendthrift trust, the grantor should carefully consider the choice of trustee who will have significant control over how the assets will be distributed to the beneficiary. And so you got a generation skipping trust. You can leave assets to later generations while avoiding estate taxes. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. I said you can leave things to future generations while avoiding estate taxes. That's how a lot of families be leaving things to their grandchildren. I'm gonna leave this house to my great 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 or my grandkids. And you be like, what you mean? You mean because they got it in a trust while avoiding estate taxes. I'm breaking this down. When I teach this on the college campus and it be packed, and people don't be sharing this, and they be like, man, I say this is why we losing. This is why we are losing. I heard when I was breaking everything down, I was telling people how jobs, your employer would take out life insurance on you without you even knowing, even on the lower level workers. They'll take out life insurance on you. Jobs. Now, is it illegal? No. Is it unethical? Yes. But jobs take out life insurance on you. We're talking about corporations. And I tell people, I said, when we come together, you got to understand that we are a business. We should be doing business. Think about what I'm saying. Let's proceed. You can set up a generation skipping trust if you prefer your estate to go to your grandchildren or later generations rather than your children by transferring the assets to your grandchildren instead of your child. And the assets enjoy estate tax exemption. So say something happened to you and you got a whole bunch of money and you say, when you pass, your kid's like, oh, I'm finna get this, dad died. Dad ain't giving you nothing. Why? You ain't deal with that. You ain't never came around. Dad then gave it to the grandkids. Dad then gave all this real estate, all his cars, all his gold bars, all his money to his grandkids. And the assets enjoy what? Estate tax exemption. Estate tax exemption. However, you can give your children access to income generated by those assets if you feel like it. Generation skipping trust can be complex and may trigger the generation skipping transfer tax. In this type of trust, grantors should be aware of tax thresholds and understand the type of taxes that you're in or may not be in when setting this type of trust up. Then you got life insurance trust, those that's trying to exclude life insurance proceeds for their taxable estate. A life insurance trust is called a irrevocable life insurance trust. The acronym we call that is a ILIT. It's designed to hold the proceeds of your life insurance policy. It is revocable and allows your life insurance payouts to be invested. You see what I said? To be invested and distributed by the trustee without incurring taxes for the beneficiaries. Note that this kind of trust requires relinquishing ownership rights to the policy. Therefore, what I'm saying is, in layman terms, the insurance policy is owned by the trustee, but not the insured, which we like to call the grantor. And when the insurer dies, the trustee collects the policy proceeds. And those proceeds can be distributed to the trust beneficiaries, who can use them to pay estate taxes, if you choose. Come on, Noble. Come on. See, this is what we should know. This is what we should be talking about. We shouldn't talk about, oh, God this and Jehovah this and Muhammad this. Yeah, we get all that too. We all that. I just told y'all we everywhere. Where we all at. Now let's get to something that we can stand on and bring this together and do this thing the right way. Set yourself up. Qualified Personal Reside a Residence Trust. We call that an acronym of QPRT. Now that's for homeowners that want to reduce taxable estate but retain temporary resident rights. Think about what these trusts really do and how they set you up. A qualified personal resident trust, the acronym QPRT, allows a homeowner to transfer your home to an irrevocable trust while retaining the right to live. So you retain the right to live, you retain the right to live in it for a certain period. And this can effectively remove the home value from the taxable estate, possibly saving on taxes. You see, this is why when a lot of people misnomer black people, they say, well, we can't do this. And I say, Well, I never say we can't do things if I don't know the law. Remember, I do things pertaining to the law, and it's a way to do things to protect yourself. You take yourself out of public and put yourself in private. What is private? Trust. Will is litigation. Will is always going to be litigation. Ask anybody that really love you, that really want to protect anything that you have. They'll say, this man is telling you 100% truth. But I can't tell you this. Why? Because I have a job to protect. I get paid to have you sign things. If I didn't, I wouldn't be, I'd be out of business. You know, trust, this is nothing new. This is old. Remember I told you all these trusts. I just gave a trust how grandparents can give to the land to their children. I mean to their grandchildren and skip their kids. Think about what I'm saying. So now you have a charitable trust. Now that's good for a philanthropist. Now I want to add this, like what we are an organization. We're tax exempt for the federal government. You know, so remember that it's a certain different type of tax bracket that we follow under. This is what I've been trying to teach all my brothers as ministers in the area, how this works for the community. You have to understand it. The church is supposed to own the schools and everything. They're tax exempt for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educationally. When you get land, when you get property, even vehicles, your home, anything that you put in there for those purposes, you're under a different type of tax bracket. This is the dynamics that you're under. You're able to go down to the city and say, hey man, this under the plight, we're this type of organization, charitable organization, we need that. You know, we put people in these homes. It's certain type of thing that you fall under when you know this stuff. So the charitable trust is established during the grantor's lifetime, aka a living trust. It distributes assets to the chosen nonprofit or charitable organization upon the grantor's death. The irrevocable trust allows the charity to avoid or reduce estate or gift taxes. Think about this. These two are popular types of a charitable trust. Charitable lead trust, the acronym I like to call CLTs, and charitable remainder trust, CRTs, and CLTs provide income to a charity for a set period of time, after which the remaining assets go to the grantor or a designated beneficiary. Like I know a lot of people that have a lot of money. I met a European Albion lady, whatever you want to call it. She was like, yeah, when I pass, I'm giving all my money to my cats. She just said, I'll donate. She said she donated her money to cats. I said, hey, that's what you want to do. She said, my children get nothing. I said, hey, you have the right to do whatever you want. She said she's setting up as a trust. I said, I understand. On the other hand, CRT provide income to the grantor or another beneficiary to start, and then the remaining assets go to a charity. So it'll give you some to start, and the remainder go to another charity. Both types aim to benefit charities, but differ in their approach to the tax advantages, income distribution, and eventual recipient of the trust principal assets. So charitable trust can also be incorporated into a standard trust. So you have a constructive trust. I want to proceed because I don't want to be too long. I'm almost 30 minutes in. You can write these down. If people want more information, I'll go into those. But you have a constructive trust, correcting unjust enrichment or fraud. You know, you have a Totten trust, TOTT, or Totten trust, TOTTEN, looking for a simple way to pass on simple assets with probate. I would never use probate for nothing. But hey, when people ask me, I said, because I don't want to do no litigation. I don't want to add no third party into nothing I have. Why? Because that's my right. That's my right. I don't have to add a third party in none of my business. That's my right. How? If I set up a trust. You ain't finna auction off nothing. Ain't nobody finna come litigate nothing. Totten or Totten trusts are revocable and relatively simple to manage compared to other trusts. However, it is limited to certain financial assets and does not offer flexibility or protections of other trusts. You have a blind trust for individuals who need to avoid conflicts of interest. Think about that one. That can be either revocable or irrevocable. Allows the grantor to relinquish control over assets to an independent trustee to avoid conflicts of interest. Think about that. So the trustee manages the assets without the beneficiary's knowledge. So the beneficiaries have no input into how the estates are handled. Think about that. Then you have a pet trust. Pet owners who want to ensure their animals are well cared for after they pass away. Remember, I told y'all, I knew a lady said, she giving all her money to her cats. They're going to be well taken care of. It ain't funny, but I'm just saying, you know. So what I tell brothers and sisters is all type of grants. Trust. You must know. You must learn. That's what I tell everybody. Learn something. Be willing to learn. Everything is not hidden from us. You know, it perturbs me when I hear our people say, well, that was hidden from us. It ain't nothing hidden from us today. If you know what the heck Beyonce doing, if you know what Jay-Z doing, ain't nothing hidden from us. Ain't nothing hidden from us. We just not introduced to the science. And here we break things down. We educate you on things. So when you go handle things, and if you want to involve a third party, then you have some questions to ask those people while you're going to make one of the biggest decisions in your life. I don't tell people what to do. You say what, Noble Malik?
I said, say that again. They know how much Beyonce going on, but they don't know what's going on in their life.
Yes. Come on. Oh, man, Buck Daddy, Jay-Z. Oh, I know he did that. How you know you was with him? Oh, man, how you know somebody telling you was with him? You don't know nothing. It's ludicrous. So when we talk about it at the BBT, man, I just want to give a little intro, man, of the heart of the Dharma, because here at the BBT, we study and respect all the laws and the prophets, and we get to a higher level, connecting ourselves to the essence. We don't give homage to anything outside of ourselves. We have a love and a passion for everyone, but when we use religion and spirituality to separate us, I have a big problem with that. And that's the thing. I said we're missing the point, especially if we're Moors, because we respect and obey all the laws and the prophets, Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, etc. And if you don't understand the triple roads, and if you're not understanding this, well then, brothers and sisters, it's a little bit more deeper learning that we have to do. Because I give respect to Noble Drew Ali, I give respect to all the laws and the prophets, but I'm in the flesh. We can take and add value to, which what every God man would want us to do. Would want you to stay in a certain dispensation. We ain't in the 20s and the 30s where we're limited. We can add value to and give homage to those before us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When I teach in the essence of beauty, bestowing immeasurable wealth of true wisdom upon those that can receive it. That's why in this introduction of the Dharma, it's going to be a treasure chest. I'm going to give you some gems per se. I promise you, if you have an open heart and if your heart is full with the essence of God, your heart and mind will be eternally enriched. Because every system of more science, or when I talk in this essence of the practice of this Buddhist, this Dharma, it provides specific preliminary teachings that serve as a solid foundation for correct perception and correct spiritual practice. And you can cross-reference this with biblical scriptures. You can cross-reference this with Quranic scripture. You can cross-reference this with the Vedas, with the Brahmin texts. All through other ancient texts, you can connect this. So the problem is my people are lost due to a lack of linguistics, due to a lack of synonyms and understanding that words have synonyms. Excuse me. I cut that off. But that's a clear a flaw that we do with each other. We use that to say, well, no, I'm not going to be around this. And we stay on a certain dogmatic level, you know? But watch this. Watch how we break this science down. And I'm going to break it down in a little bit of, I like to call it noble ways. So, no matter which path you take in life, without foundational understanding, we are subject to common misperceptions of reality, which inevitably cause confusion, stress, dissatisfaction, and suffering. To make progress in our spiritual and psychological development, to attain liberation from suffering in this very lifetime, and to be able to assist the awakening of our other beings, we need to radically shift our fundamental perception of reality. And these teachings will serve the purpose. So I'm going to talk about a couple of noble ways. Man, this tea good to the mother. Y'all with me?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to start off with a couple of noble truths. The four noble truths and the noble eightfold path. The first noble truth, the truth of dissatisfaction and suffering. Now think about this now. Wrap your mind around this concept. The first noble truth describes the nature of life and our personal experience of this impermanent, ever-changing world. All beings desire happiness, safety, peace, and comfort. We desire what is satisfying, pleasurable, joyful, and permanent. However, the very nature of existence is impermanent, always changing, and therefore incapable of fully satisfying our desire. Inevitably, we experience what? Frustration, anger, loss, unhappiness, and dissatisfaction. Life is in a constant change, and changes such as birth, old age, sickness, death can bring dissatisfaction or suffering. Suffering may arise from being associated with people or conditions that are unpleasant, from being separated from people we love or conditions we enjoy, from not getting what we desire, or from getting what we desire, then losing it. Even our own thoughts and feelings are impermanent, constantly changing. Inevitably, all physical, emotional, mental conditions will change. Insight into the first noble truth to overcome dissatisfaction and suffering. It is essential that we understand and accept the ever changing, the impermanent nature of life. We acknowledge the presence of dissatisfaction and suffering. I hope you hear me. We understand the very nature of suffering, and we embrace suffering compassionately, without fear, without avoidance. Are y'all with me?
Absolutely.
Man, this is power. I got to put my eyes on. The second noble truth, the cause of dissatisfaction and suffering. You know, the cause of our dissatisfaction and suffering. We desire, we crave, and thirst for happiness, security, identity in this world of impermanence, influenced by our misperception, our ignorance, our delusion. We want life to satisfy our every craving, our every need, our every desire. We want from life what it can never provide: constant happiness, constant pleasure, and security, undisturbed by change or loss. But that's not real. When life falls to satisfy our needs and desires, we experience fear, frustration, hurt, anger, pain, suffering. Afflicted by such thoughts and emotions, we tend to speak and act in negative ways, which cause further suffering. Therefore, our dissatisfaction and suffering do not come from outside of ourselves. We cause our own suffering when we fail to realize that the impermanent nature of our life is incapable of providing constant satisfaction for our craving, for our need, and our desire. I hope y'all catching what I'm saying, man. The origin and cause of dissatisfaction and suffering is our misperception of reality, our ignorance, our delusion, our self-centered desire, greed, craving, grasp, attachment to things that do not last, and our negative behavior. Insight into the second noble truth to overcome dissatisfaction and suffering. It is essential that we clearly identify the cause of this experience. We deeply feel and fully understand these causes. Finally, we choose to abandon, remove, and stop creating the causes of our suffering. See, you can do this. I ain't said nothing outside of yourself that you don't have the power to do. The third noble truth: dissatisfaction and suffering when we let go of abandonment. That's when we can get rid of it. And then we liberate ourselves from the craving and the attachment that those type of things cause. Because our pain, our confusion, and our suffering have a cause. It has a being. They also have an end as well. And once we understand the nature of our illness, we can cure it with the right remedies. Moso was talking about it yesterday. He made a brilliant statement yesterday as we were talking about healing. He said the problem with a lot of us, and it don't have nothing to do with color. He said people want to come to the medicine man and to the herbalist man when they sick. And he said, you're supposed to have this in your body already and operate like this. So when sickness comes, your helper T cells are already operating in a certain manifestation. Why? Because you're feeding it the things that it needs. So when sickness comes, which I said sickness is always going to come, is going to come, you will be able to fight certain things off. Understand what I'm saying? Why? Because it's certain things that's in you. You're not waiting till you get sick to add life into you. You are adding life into you as you're living life. That's the remedy. That's the remedy. That's the remedy. You don't wait to deal with the herbologist when you're sick. Once you remember, we're sick mentally. Remember, the mind is powerful. So you start to perfect the mind, and the mind starts to take control of the body. And so you start to heal yourself from within. That's the thing, that's the cure. And we understand the nature of our illness, and we can cure it with the right remedies. In this same way, once we see and understand what causes our suffering, we can end it by eliminating those causes and realizing well-being. We want well-being. We can manifest these type of essences. We can manifest well-being. Well-being is a mental state of mind. Liberation from suffering, awakening, supreme peace, lasting happiness. You see people every day, oh, I'm happy, I'm sad. Why are you sad? What's making you sad every freaking day when you wake up with your sad self? You look in the mirror, you got more wrinkles in your head than the wrinkle man. I don't know, something I made up. And perfect wisdom are possible. Perfect wisdom is possible. These qualities are the very essence and nature of our being. They are always available to you and I, awaiting your realization. Insight into the third noble truth. When our delusion, when our greed, when our craving, when our attachment and negative behavior have been extinguished, what remains in this absence of suffering is the experience of the phrase we like to call nirvana. You see? Because nirvana is a state of mind. Am I right about what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so the awakened quality of our true nature is nirvana. It is essentially, however, that this supreme peace and wisdom of our true nature be realized and made fully conscious by way of direct experience. For one liberated in this way, when a brother or a sister is liberated in this manifestation, in whose heart dwells peace, there is nothing to be added to what has been accomplished. And this is the end of dissatisfaction. This is the end of suffering, the realization of our true nature. The ultimate reality is what? True nirvana. You see, the fourth noble truth, the path leading to the end of dissatisfaction, to the end of suffering. You don't, and that's what they say, you don't want to suffer no more. They got the songs to talk about no suffering no more. So we having a mental awakening. We having a resurrection of the mind. The fourth noble truth is the way, the path leading to the end of dissatisfaction and suffering. By following and practicing the noble eightfold path, right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, we will overcome our dissatisfaction and suffering. Following this path, also known as the noble middle path, we avoid the extremes of searching for happiness through a life of indulgence in desire and sensual pleasure, or the opposite extreme of trying to gain happiness or liberation by tormenting one's body and mind through unreasonable, unprofitable, and painful forms of spiritual type of suffering per se, or self-mortification. The noble eightfold path is the way to end suffering, the middle way that leads to peace, discernment, supreme happiness, perfect wisdom, enlightenment, and nirvana. Insight into the fourth noble truth, no matter how profound our conceptual knowledge of the path may be, brothers and sisters, this will not be sufficient for true accomplishment. It is essential that we follow, that we cultivate and practice the path with diligence, with sincerity, and full confidence. That's what we have to do. The noble eightfold path, right understanding or a right view of things per se, right understanding or right view of the ability to understand the nature of things exactly as they are, brothers and sisters, without delusion or distortion. If we hold wrong views to these things, if we hold misunderstandings, the nature of reality, then our thoughts, then our speech, then our actions and plans come forth from this misunderstanding, noble Maso, bringing unhappiness and suffering, noble Malik. If we cultivate the right view of reality, our thoughts, our speech, our actions and plans come forth from the right understanding. And what that right understanding, it brings happiness and freedom from suffering. That's why when you are a light being, when you are a light bringer, you go in those dark places and illuminate. The heart must be purified first before anything happens. Understanding, imposing our self-centered desires, our needs, our expectations. When I say don't expect nothing from nobody, expect their will and God's will to in line. Have no expectations but good things for individuals. Don't have any expectations, because what if a person don't reach your expectations? Or what if a person exceeds your expectations? Nothing. So have good thoughts in general. Or fear unto life, being satisfied and happy when things go your way, and upset if they don't. It's wrong understanding. With right understanding, we correctly perceive how can I say, a type of understanding that's not entwined, when it's interdependent, when it's impermanent, when it's ever changing nature of life. because things will change. And then you realize lasting happiness and satisfaction do not come from anything external. It comes from within, because the closest place to find God is in your heart. I don't care what you call it. That's why most religious people never find happiness. Why? Because you're steady searching for something outside yourself. And once you turn within, my God, that's when the magic happens. This is the science. A right understanding requires full comprehension of the Four Noble Truths, which explains the nature of reality. Through right understanding, you cultivate wisdom, the prajna, the pragna, an essential aspect of the path. Understand this. In the Christian book, you may call it the Holy Spirit per se. Understanding these synonyms. See, this is the thing when we use, or certain religious groups use things to separate people. But when you have a good teacher that understands synonyms and words and linguistics, they're able to connect the teaching and show you the way. It's only one way. Sometimes we may not understand the way, but it's only one way. When you know the esoteric, the exoteric, when you understand analogy and parable and symbology. This is a science. The right thought or right intention means our thoughts, feelings, desires, intentions are in complete harmony with the wisdom of life, in accordance with the way reality works. What I'm saying is, y'all, with right thoughts, our thoughts and intentions are completely free from selfish desire, hostility, and cruelty. So the right thought means our thinking, our attitude, and motivation are rightly aligned with love, with kindness, with compassion, with wisdom, harmliness. And these noble qualities are extended to all living beings. The right thought is directly related to right speech and right action. The way we think always influences our speech and actions. Therefore, our misunderstanding of reality causes wrong thinking, which gives rise to non-virtuous speech and actions, which cause harm to individuals or yourself. Right thought gives right to virtuous speech and actions, which bring happiness and benefit to those that you speak upon. And when our thought, when our desire, when our intention and motivation are in harmony with reality, the way the Dharma, if it was in a Christian book, I would call it the Holy Spirit. This is right thought. Thought right. We cultivate wisdom. In the biblical scripture, wisdom is related to what, y'all? Come on, talk to me. Come on, where my students at? Where my brothers?
Sophia.
Come on, Noble Moso, you see? So when I be speaking, they be like, well, what about this? I said, oh, so you don't like the Bible, because through right thought, we cultivate wisdom. Prajna. So prajna is Sophia. Sophia in the Bible is wisdom. I'm synchronizing these teachings. That's what a spiritual man does. An essential aspect of the path, of the way. In the biblical scripture, you had high priests, those that wore the turban with the jewel on it. They were high priests. In the biblical scripture, you had Melchizedek, as my European Jewish colleagues call me out here. Melchizedek. I'm not here to destroy nothing. I'm here to fulfill. I am here to fulfill. You must have a right speech. Right speech is the ability to speak truthfully and harmlessly. If a person said, well, the Bible says this, well, y'all already know. I'm a Bible man. I'm telling you to go get it. Don't be lying on the Bible. Don't lie on the Bible, because I know front and back to forth. I don't need it. Scripture, Old Testament, New Testament, what? I don't care what version you want to get. Whatever you want to get, don't lie on it. Especially if you don't know the words, what the words saying, what they was written for, you can't make them up. This is a science. That's why in the biblical scriptures they say it's qualifications to be a pastor, to be a minister, to be a teacher, to be a God man. It's qualifications. Ain't nobody
you can't make it up. You got to break them down.
Yeah, and said you was called, I was called to preach. Man, by who? Who called you to preach? Who called you? Oh, I got a call the other day, man. I woke up the night, I had an epiphany. After you've been drunk all your life, you done had an epiphany. Man, go on with that. We done with the day of that type of preaching is over. The day of the on our knees is over. We've been past that. That's not the teachings. We're not going to teach that. The right speech comes naturally from right thought. And since our speech is a direct expression of our thoughts, our speech should never be cruel or hurtful to others, because the truth has no sides. If you can speak the truth, look what the scripture says, and so help me God, and the truth will make you free. It ain't set you free, the truth will make you free. Then tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, and let the chips fall where they may be. And I base my speaking on the biblical text. I'm willing to give my life for what I understand and what I believe.
They say tell the truth and shame the devil, right?
You say what, brother?
That saying is tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said I preach the truth, whether it fill up a room or whether it clear it out. I'm cool with both, Noble. Because when my flesh gone, the credit gonna say, man, Jai, well done, son. Well done, son. Well done. Wow. Well done, son. I've done what I had to do, man. I said, I ain't in this for fame. You know, I'm in this as to fulfill my obligation. I'm doing my Father's business. This is what I'm ordained to do, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you know, and be able to stand on it. You know, our words should not create no misunderstanding, no slander, speaking ways to create resentment, conflict, division, or disharmony among individuals. Right speech means not speaking in ways that are harsh, rude, impolite, abusive, malicious. We refrain from idle, useless, and foolish talk or gossip. See, we refrain from foolish gossip. That's why we seek what? Sophia. We seek wisdom. We're not here for foolish gossip. We're not here for hearsay. We don't deal with those type of things. We refrain from those things. We refrain from those things that are meaningless. And in this way, we cultivate the ability to speak truth. The truth will make us free. We learn to use words that are friendly, gentle, benevolent, meaningful. Right speech means speaking kindly, wisely, because you can give a person an aha moment at all times. I was talking to a lady one day, a Jewish European at Target, and after we got done talking, she said, you just gave me a college education. You just walked me through a doctoral class that fast. Thank you. You know, she was like, thank you, Rabbi. I said, no, I'm going to speak wisdom. You know, if you ask me something, I'm going to tell you, nobody can tell me nothing or tell me what something is. I'm not going to allow nobody to tell me that. And then if you ask me something, you shouldn't care what I think. I'm going to show you what the Holy Spirit has revealed to me based on what you say you believe in, and tell you to open it up and let's read it together. I never read that. I know you haven't. So when we are not able to speak in a way that are useful, kind, or uplifting, we may consider the wisdom of remaining in noble silence. And that's what I do a lot of times. You can ask my empress. I go so many places. I told y'all we went to an African store. Me and my empress in there shopping. As soon as we leave, I guess he ear hustling. He hear me and Sean talking. He come over there, man, all this wisdom in there. Why you ain't say nothing? He was like, man, we felt your spirit. Everybody was asking who you are, because the African lady, I think she was from Congo. She was like, that's my pastor, but whatever. I say, when people are talking and they're having religious conversations, that ain't I stay in noble silence. I stay in noble silence. We should understand that spiritual or religious conversations or truthfulness alone is not right speech. Abstinence from wholesome speech is the essence of right speech. Through the practice of right speech, we cultivate what? Ethical conduct, personal integrity, salah, and establish the essential foundation of the path. We find the essential foundation of the path. Because when you understand this, do anybody understand the phrase contextualization? Do anybody know what that phrase means?
No, I can't say I do. I could look it up though.
Okay, well, look it up. We in class. I'll wait. Or contextualize, because this is when you must be taught by your own. There's nothing wrong with that. Like Malik said, I don't see a polar bear being raised by a koala bear. I don't see a koala bear being raised by a grizzly bear. Hell, and if a giraffe be raised by a koala bear, the giraffe gonna think it's a koala bear. Anybody find it yet?
Yes, to study content or context.
What else to say?
It basically says place or to study context.
Okay, so context is
That's
like, go ahead.
contextualize. That's what contextualize means.
Oh, so contextualization, context, origin, per se, right?
Hold on.
No, it's because these words go together. You said content, right?
Yeah.
So the content of something is the origin of something per se. So when I say I'm going to contextualize the history and I'm going to contextualize the biblical scripture and your biblical understanding, what do you think I'm saying? Can anybody
You're going to
answer
study
that
the
for me?
origin. You're going to study the origin of something or something from the beginning.
Okay. So now let me put it in a little bit more layman terms. You have a certain teacher that's going to contextualize history in a certain way. What am I
You're
saying?
going to explain. You're going to explain something.
So when we contextualize in the scripture, it must be contextualized in a way that it benefits you. You must be able. That's why in culture thing, when the people say, "Oh, culture," this is culture. No, it's culture things. You must contextualize it. You must put these things in proper context. When I talk about hermeneutics, it's certain tools that you must understand. It's certain things that go with these form of actions. And when you're teaching a certain people, it must be contextualized in a certain manifestation for who? The uplifting of a people. Contextualization. Y'all with me?
Yep.
Right action means, oh, I'm on good time. Right? You say what? Oh, we on good time. We almost done. But right action means our behavior is ethical, honorable, responsible. Right action comes naturally from right thought. And since our actions are a direct expression of our thoughts, our physical actions are based upon our mental violation or our will per se. And when our minds and hearts are overwhelmed with greed, with attachment, anger, which is aversion or delusion, delusion is ignorance, we have the strong tendency to engage in unwholesome, non-virtual actions. See how I broke all these byproducts down of virtual actions. All these things come in the mind first. Once these things enter the mind, then what? It manifests to what? Outside actions. After all these mental manifestations, look at this. And whenever these mental and emotional states arise, we should face them. We should observe them objectively, embrace them, and understand them as impermanent and being the cause of suffering. This brings insight. This brings wisdom, brothers and sisters. And this brings the right type of action. We doing real good. Being in accord with right action. We are always compassionate. We are always generous. You always nonviolent and peaceful. Remember, I always say, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We abstain from unwholesome behavior, such as destroying life, taking what is not given, stealing, sexual misconduct, and dealing with others in harm and hurtful and dishonest ways. We live a life of honesty, being always conscious, with a heart full of sympathy, desiring the welfare of all living beings to the best of our ability. We support others in leading a peaceful, non-violent, and honorable life as well. Right action and through this process, you cultivate ethical conduct, which we call personal integrity, which we call salah, and establish the essential foundation of the past. Now, when you look up that word, the SILA, you're gonna see, damn, that's another word in the Bible that means this. I'll be like, yeah, I keep telling people. We talking about in moral science, we respect and obey all the laws of the prophets, Jita, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad. You must know this. This is wisdom. You don't, in more science, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. Who told you that you gravitate to one science? The Moorish Quran talked about the Brahmin text, the Vedas, and everything. The Moorish Quran is compiled of the unto thee I grant. Hell, the Moorish Quran from a few chapters is word for word of the Moorish Akashic records. Word for word.
I think you skipped over. Most people don't understand what you just said about the science. Most religious houses don't go over the science. They just run over words.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so here in Moorish science, we go over the science of all the essence of all religions, religious houses, so that you can connect it and have an understanding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That what makes you a high priest. That what makes you a holy man. You come from wisdom and understanding. I know who I am. We are in America. We get that. But when it comes to the wisdom, I'm not gonna let nobody separate the science and the wisdom. I'm not gonna play that. I don't care what nobody say on the internet. I don't care what no preacher or nobody say. I done been through the fire already. We just gonna keep moving as we doing, and see how other people are doing, and we just gonna keep moving, spreading wisdom and light and love, being seeds. We ain't gotta sit there to watch them, bro. They gonna double back and see them bad boys been sprouted like a mug. I told them they thought they can bury us, but they forgot we were seeds. We ain't doing nothing but sprouting. Hell, you ain't gotta put no water on it. We gonna let nature grow us. Yeah, we like the lotus, you know. We grow from the damn concrete. You heard me?
Yeah, that's right.
But the right livelihood suggests that we earn our living in an honorable and life-affirming way, free from deceit or dishonesty. We do not earn our living in ways that involve harm, cruelty, or injustice to either human beings or animals, nor do we support those who harm other beings. For example, right livelihood means not selling or trading in arms and lethal weapons, intoxicating drinks, poison, killing or mistreating animals, not cheating or deceiving others, and so forth. And that's why when I sit and talk to a lot of people, and y'all know it, y'all been dealing with me, we're going on 5-6 years, all of us from different areas. Y'all are testimonies of the honesty and the loyalty and what we doing. Like one dude came to me, he was like, man, you could have been hustling people if you wanted to. You could have been stealing IDs and doing all that, saying you nationalized people. He's like, you've been doing this for a long time. Dude was like, I've been following you for 10 years. And he was like, you've been honorable ever since. He was like, that's why people can't say nothing, because you tell the truth. And I said, I have to. And I said, I'm not going to make my riches scheming off people. That ain't, I couldn't. I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna make mine the right way, and it's going to take time. How? By improving on things that's done, by using my brain, by using my wisdom. And as you see, I have organizations. They're not multi-million yet, but when you look at other organizations that set up like mine, they're already multi-million-dollar organizations. Man, that gives me nothing but confidence. And then I got my brothers as joint staff all over, as stakeholders. Man, we could be random stuff, giving stuff away. Like we just got to keep improving. I'm telling you, it's almost like when you digging in the ground and you digging, he like, oh man, I'm tired of digging. And I say, listen, brother, we on shifts. We built for this. We work out, we eat right. It's gold in here. Yeah, we know it's gold in here. We looking at it, we got the thing, we tired and all. We gonna keep going. Boom. And we almost there. We have to keep going. We got to keep improving. Why? Because we got it. Look, we got it. We only got to be right once. So the dharma of a human being is to support and assist life, embrace our interconnection with all sentient beings. Being in accord with right livelihood means living in harmony and unity with all of life, living not just to satisfy our own personal desires, but to compassionately serve the welfare of beings. Through right livelihood, We cultivate ethical conduct, personal integrity, salah, and establish the essential foundation of the path. Noble Malik, just like I showed how when the creator always showed me visions, when if you have a vision, and I hope you have a revelation, because revelation is showing you understanding of that vision. You must have revelation. Revelation is understanding, and boom. And I was just thinking about our land, and then bam, that showed me the potential. And I sent that in the text stream of what we could potentially have on our land. Did you see that property I showed you?
Yes, I did, with that beautiful wood building.
And you see the asking price they want for that property. Just see just see the potential of what we can do. And that was only a 3-bedroom. You know, I think it was 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 1-bath. Just imagine, and just imagine what we can do together. You know, what we can do, what we can put on there, or we can say, hey man, we can get something like that already done, and just have so much. It's just the potential of things, what we can do with the right thinking, with the right effort. That's why I'm saying with the right auspices. You know, remember, when people do things the right way, it's not popular. Remember, what's popular is people getting scammed. Look at it. Because look at all these people saying they got scammed. Oh, I got scammed by this person, said they're going to real estate. I got scammed by this person, said they're going to do Bitcoin. I got scammed by this person, said they're going to do this. Look, then you go on pocket watches by JT. I tell everybody, pull up pocket watches by JT. And then you see all these people, all these scam artists, and all these people that look like you and I, that's on the internet and all this, that have been scamming people for years. You know? And that's what people like. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it the right way. So as I proceed, I got 2 more bullets and we out of here. The right effort is the wholehearted, diligent, and energetic endeavor to train our mind and our hearts. We are to restrain or prevent wholesome states of mind from arising. We are to make an effort to dispel and abandon those unwholesome states of mind that have already arisen in our awareness. In addition, we are to make an effort to cultivate positive, pure, loving, virtuous, and wholesome states of mind and heart, which have not yet arisen or been developed within you and I. We are to also make an effort to maintain those positive, pure, loving, virtuous, wholesome states of mind and heart, which have already arisen and been cultivated within you and I. We should develop and bring these wholesome states to maturity and perfection. That's why I say, man, everything we do is a practice. What? Okay, this is part of our science. What we do, we work out on the weekend, we breathe, everything we do. I guarantee you look at Malik, you look at myself, you look at a lot of other people, and they say, wait a minute, how old are you, Noble Malik? Noble Malik will say his age. They say, how old are you? Yeah, they say, how old are you, She Goodman Bay? I say, I'm getting ready to be 48 January 19th. They ask other Noble, wait, y'all, how old? What y'all do every day? Wait, what pills y'all take? None. What you do? We eat right, we do this, we love right, our heart's right, we pure in mind, we happy with what we do. Yes, we want more. That, of course, who wouldn't want more? But we want our will and the Creator's will to align. And long as we're operating, and long as we are working in motion, and long as we are working in our progress, man, we are happy because we know we can get there. Why? Because we're working. We Silicon Valley. We Silicon Valley, man. In this way, we are able to avoid being carried away by what? Distractions. You see how a lot of brothers that came with us, been with us for a few years, and they carried away by distractions. Yep. Nothing else has stopped them in their life but distractions. Noble, Malik, I'm preaching and teaching. Yep. This ain't got nothing to do with you and I. No. I keep telling people, I said, yes, this got to do with you. This got to do with everything. So when you examine a man's or a woman's life that's easily distracted, you open a book of life, you see they never completed nothing. You heard me? You say, how old are you? You this old. What have you done? Man, you ain't even graduated from high school. You ain't even went at the college, no GED. Why not? What have you accomplished since you graduated high school? How many? Well, nothing. I got 85 babies. Man, that ain't nothing. Because you busting the loogie.
85 babies.
For real. And like no disrespect. Like so-called Christmas just came. I see everybody bought their kid a whole bunch of toys. They're gonna be tore up in 2 weeks. They ain't got them kids no books, no wisdom. Them kids gonna be dumber, just like they was this year, next year Christmas. You gonna ask some of these kids what's their name? They gonna say little man. They gonna say what's your mama name? You gonna say mama. No disrespect to nobody.
And they went into debt.
Yeah, and they went
a lot of them went into debt.
And they went into debt for some toys, for some freaking toys. And then we talk all this righteous stuff, all that
money they could have put towards the what you started off the teaching with a trust and a will. I mean, not a will, but just a trust, a living trust, investment in life insurance to create wealth.
Yep. Just like people talk about now, they finna cancel Fat Joe for what he said. And I'm just saying, I said, man, I don't care about none of that stuff. I said, y'all ain't canceling nobody other things that's going on. I don't care about no rappers or what nobody said. Or I can care less. Your damn employer calling you an NIWGA right now. Your employer calling you a nappy head son of a gun right now. And you're going to wake your butt up and go right back to work and say, cha-ching. So some stuff don't matter to me. Oh, we going to cancel this. We going to cancel this. I don't support a lot of that stuff anyway. So what you mean we? We should have canceled a whole bunch of stuff already. We should have canceled wasting our money on stupid holidays. We should have been canceled that. We are to develop steady perseverance, making a firm, unshaken resolve to practice the Dharma. We endeavor to express love, compassion, wisdom, virtue in our thoughts, speech, actions. If we truly want to awaken and attain liberation from suffering, we must practice this. I got 2 more. 7 is the right mindfulness or the right attention. We must pay the right attention to things, like per se, before I even break it down. Okay, brother, me and Moso was in the book reading yesterday. Just like when I said, you don't want to see the medicine man when you get sick. You want to be building your helper T cells up in a certain manifestation. When you see certain God, man, when you went to a certain area, you'd be like, why these men in a certain age look so good? Because you see how they live. You know, because the glory of a young man is his strength, but the wisdom of an older man is the gray on his hair and his beard. Understand what I just said. Understand what I just said. So the right mindfulness or the right attention, the right mindfulness or attention means being attentive. So if your car needs tires, you're going to get new tires. If your car needs oil change, you're going to get an oil change. You need to be attentive. So what is your body telling you? When you look, when everybody finna say, oh, my New Year's resolution is to do what? Man, I don't want to hear none of that BS. I don't want to hear none of that because it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And lifestyle is people don't want to change certain things. And the first thing, you must change what you eat and drink. I'm a testimony to doing that. I'm 30 days, no meat, no alcohol, none of that. And I wouldn't abuse it or nothing. That's just my testimony, you know? And aware of our body actions, our sensations and feelings, and the activities of our mind. Right mindfulness means giving our full attention to that which is positive, life-affirming, and beneficial to other beings. We are also mindful of which is negative, harmful, destructive. Your antennas be on. It's almost like when you be like, man, when people be seeing me, they be like, man, that she head be on a swivel, because I'm attentive to things. I'm attentive to things that's positive, and I'm attentive to things that's not negative to me, that I know that's negative for you all. And I bring it up as a map and a guide, as a brother from love. And I say, do you see this? And I wouldn't tell nobody what to abstain from, but I would want you to open your eye. So you can't say, well, Sheik, if you seen something, you didn't say nothing. No, if I see something, if my eyes see something, I love you enough to tell you and let you deal with the information that I gave you. But I know our relationships is from love. I know you know, and I know that you know that I'm not going to give you nothing that's going to harm you. Everything that I'm going to give you is for the benefit of you and I. Am I right about what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All right. So in addition, we are to cultivate those states of mind conducive to our spiritual process. So in accordance with right mindfulness, our awareness is where it should be, completely attentive to what is happening within us and around us in the present moment. How a person, you can be somewhere, like Kanye said, how could I be in a room full of, yos? He said, because I'm in tune with my soul. If you're in tune with your soul, you can go anywhere and be you. And your spirit of discernment is going to have you, okay, whenever you done doing what you're doing, whenever you done, you shaking hands, you out of there. You know, I ain't saying you can't be there for enjoyment. Anything that you do, be in discernment. This is what I'm saying. We see things as they are without distortion. And when our attention is scattered, when our attention is diluted or placed on too many things at once, our thoughts, our speech, our actions may become careless, which causes harm to ourselves and others. And in these situations, my brothers and my sisters, we can practice right mindfulness by embracing the painful consequences of our actions with what? Full awareness. Let me give you an analogy. If somebody asks you for something and you know you might not be in the position to give it to them, or if you give it to them, it may hurt them, you have to be okay with saying no, or you have to be okay with the decision that you made. If you made a God decision, a God conscious decision based on how you're going to help someone, if you didn't make that decision based on your own understanding, if you put it in your spiritual awareness first, and then you think about it from that concept, and whatever you come out with, whatever it is, if it's yay or nay, you got to be okay with that. And as we practice right mindfulness, we are steady open, we are steady aware, we are steady present, we are steady insightful, and we are serene in attitude. We think, we speak, and act with loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom in these instances. And through right mindfulness, we cultivate mental discipline. We cultivate concentration. We call it the samadhi, the SAMADHI, an essential aspect of the path. And number 8, as we wrap it up, the right concentration. The right concentration. Right concentration, and this means for training and centering your hippocampus or your mind per se. And through right concentration, we bring our restless, our unconcentrated mind into a state of tranquility, a one potentness, and unbroken attentiveness. How? By training the mind through right concentration. We extinguish the delusion. We extinguish the self-desire or the self-centered desires per se. We break up the destructive thinking that ruled the scattered mind, the untrained mind. The only reason why people are not there because your mind is not trained in a particular way. To when this happens. You have to be part of a something especial. When I tell people, no, well, I'm gonna take my kids out of school. No, let them get that general stuff. Let them know how to deal with the people. We have our 7th hour, like my European Jewish colleagues have 7th hour. They built their elementary, middle school, high schools. We do the same thing. In this way, we develop serenity and mental emotional stability, and we gain insight in the true nature of reality. When I talk about contextualizing the scriptures, that's what they do. And when I come and I use their book to contextualize it to show you what they know, but they don't have to tell you and I, you're going to always be accepted, especially if you're using their books as a God, man and woman. That's what we do at the BBT. So right concentration leads one through the various stages of dhyana. We call that the DHYANA or dhyana, which is meditation into what? A form of joy, purity. You know, that purity of mind, that attainment of the highest wisdom, that right concentration is a fully engagement. It's fully engaged means of training the mind and the heart to be completely present in each moment without cutting yourself off from others. Remember, people say, I got to exclude myself from this. No, you don't supposed to do that. You don't cut yourself off from others or escaping the responsibilities of life. That ain't how this works. Through right concentration, we cultivate mental discipline. We cultivate concentration. We cultivate the samadhi, an essential aspect of the path. See, that's what it's all about. So I want to stop right there because I can go on and get with the 8 verses for training the mind. But I've been an hour in. I want to stop right there. And we can proceed at another time. Do anybody got any questions on that introduction?
No, I just want to say gratitude for pulling up, things that we need to cover just as a society, especially for our people, the trust and and versus the wheels and things of that nature, because we come up in a curriculum that doesn't even entertain or even bring up these things in life, or also our households are lacking some of this knowledge and information. So we're just bringing it to the forefront, and I just want to say gratitude.
And Noble, Malik, that's the stuff. Like when I was on the campus and I see how this is general information, how when they have the scholars roundtable and these college students meet, how I saw these college students make their own movie company called College Hunks. I sat and watched them. I sat and watched these misnomer Chinese Korean dudes set up their own hair store out here. They got one of the biggest hair stores. I'm right there watching, and I'm like, man,
Hmm.
I can model this same thing, with my brothers and sisters, with my true understanding. We can model this same thing, you know, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing how things set up, especially when they like, well, you a minister, you taxes up, and I'm like, man, you under a whole different auspices. When I be trying to show my people what we do, when I say we giving our money away to Uncle Sam, when we don't sit and have these
Willingly.
conversations about tax codes, we talk about tax exempt, when you should donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and get a tax exempt receipt and help build, thinking you're getting a tax return. And I say, what tax return are you getting? If you part of just like if church people, I say, your church ain't giving you a tax exempt receipt. I asked a couple, I said, how much y'all donate to the church? The husband 20,000, the wife 20,000. So I said, so y'all donating $40,000 to the church, and they giving, their percentage of what they make. And I said, so is your church giving you a tax exempt receipt? She said, what do you mean? I said, so y'all don't get a tax exempt receipt to give you a tax prepared? They said, no. I said, how long y'all been doing this? Over 15 years. I said, well, you supposed, so
Wow.
you pay taxes twice.
Right.
She said, what do you mean? I said,
Huh?
look, and she said, see, brother, you have something that a lot of people won't share with these people. And you're like, people really need to support what you're doing. I said, I teach this. We listen, our tax dollars go in a private banking system. We have the right to support our religious and charitable contribution of our choice. But in every state, you just have to give a certain percentage to kind of offset your taxes, depending on what state you live in and depending on how much you make. When people say 10%, that's just the general. But some states, your tax, depending on how much you make, might exceed 10%. Like for instance, in the state of Arizona, if you make like close to like 70,000, you got to give 13%. So it's like 13,000. But if you working with your church and you donate, that's where the in-kind service and all this stuff come from. And then all that funds that we're giving willingly, thinking we're getting a tax return, you can be building your infrastructure. You can see real progress. When people be filing exempt, and certain people only file exempt for a certain time just to keep a couple of dollars, and then you got to file, then you got to put back on there just to save a couple of dollars. You should be supporting your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and filing exempt all the time and getting that tax exempt receipt to give to your tax preparer. This is the stuff that they don't teach us. This is the stuff that
That's
they don't teach
correct.
us. They don't teach us this, and it fall on deaf ears. And what we do, people say, "Well, I don't want to give this money," but you giving it to Uncle Sam. You already could have supported your church or your temple. How? By the money that you giving Uncle Sam. You just don't know taxes. And when you're part of a religious organization, the religious organization, if it's set up the right way, which we are tax exempt for the federal government. That's
Yep.
religious, portable, scientific, educational wise. We can ask for donations, and you can take that tax exempt receipt to your tax preparer. This is what we need to be teaching us in our communities and do business under our religious type of exemptions. This is what needs to be done as we buy infrastructure. People talk about we want our kids to learn. Who gonna teach them? And so that's as I went to school, and I got, like I tell people my story. I got my undergrad in business management with a minor in marketing and sales and nonprofit business startup. I got a dual master's
Wow.
degree in first century history religion with a minor in marketing. I mean, with a
Nothing but
first
gratitude.
century history and religion with a minor in linguistics. So I have an understanding of how to do things, and it's just on the students to take it there. I'm a student as well in this. That's why I'm not only the CEO, I'm a client in this as well. And so when I talk about things, I use my own finances to be a realist, to say not to collect nothing from nobody, but say, look, I put my own dollars up, to do things. And so this is how we can do things the right way. And it's just not, it don't be taught in the churches. A lot of the pastors don't talk about it. When you take business classes and finance classes, the kids graduate out of college and don't know what I'm talking about. And they say, well, why don't you teach that in college? They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know that you a business. You can set up a business at a young age. They want you to go in debt and retire at 70 years old. Be in debt.
That's what the school curriculum is all about.
You know, that's the reading list. What I teach is real solutions. I've learned some things. I studied. I put work in this. You know, I could take a group of kids right now and say, what do you want to do? And they say they want to start their business. They might be selling ties. I set their business up the right way. Boom, on paper, with their EIN, with their articles of organization. Show them what Duns and Bradstreet is. Show them what Quick 30 accounts is. Show them all these things to how to build. Show how to sell on different platforms at a young age. So when they get a certain age, they understand about business. They understand about operating as a business and having that set up as a different entity, understanding about business line of credit, understand all these aspects at a young age. We don't teach this, but what we do, we argue about, y'all, religion. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Celebrities business.
Or some celebrity business, what Puffy or Jay-Z doing. You know? And these are the things that I've learned that I said I have a gift. If we come together, man, we can do this. Especially under our religious organization, this needs to be talked about. This needs to be started. We have a full library as well. When people say things is hidden, I've been through the fire. So I give gratitude for everybody taking time out their day. But remember, man, y'all, nothing is hidden from us. If you want to learn, if you want any information, come here to the BBT. You're more than welcome to come to class, to be our guest. Hit us up, y'all. We're going to a new year, so-called 2025. I know a lot of people New Year's resolution is to get in shape. I'm telling you, you can get in shape with us. We work out twice. We work out on Saturday and Sunday, but we do work out through the week. And you're more willing, if you're serious, we can schedule 3 days through the week to work out with you in the evenings, and we can do this the right way. But you're more than welcome to come to Sunday school. You're more than welcome to come to Adapt class, which is today, and you're more than welcome to come to a book club every Friday, where Noble Moso L will be breaking down 5 to 10 books, the preface, and he's going to be offering from sales. A lot of these books are very expensive on Amazon, and we gathered, and we printed a lot of these books that you can get them binded and printed, and we have a lot of these books, a PDF that we offer for a fraction of the price. And a lot of these books are expensive, and so we're going to be doing this every Friday, and our book club, Noble Gregory Moso L, is going to be doing that every Friday. And yesterday we broke down a few books. It was amazing. And at the end of the preview, I broke down the book list, and it had 10 expensive books that's on Amazon that we offer, either printed and binded or PDF. I don't want to go over it because I want Moso to do that, or whoever doing that, because I don't want to, quote prices. But this is what we offer at the BBT. And when we're teaching and when we're in class, when we're doing ministry, we offer things for good prices. But when you jump on our company pages, then you have to pay the price when you're dealing with the company, But when you're dealing with us in ministry, when we're live and things, we're offering gifts. Like yesterday, Moso was offering gifts. He said, hit me up if y'all want these gifts. He's in the ministry. So he offered things for a small charitable donation, and you can get those things for that price. So once again, man, I just give you all gratitude and love. Let's come learn. Let's resurrect ourselves. Let's use our finances to build. And like I said, brothers, we got these acres. We got other things that we can do. Let's continue to build and love, and let's operate on what we know. And with that, I say peace and love.
Peace, peace, peace.
Anybody got any questions?
Well, I have somebody I add on our workout program. We just started our 4-week workout program. It's just 2 workouts throughout the week. You just alternate them. So it's going to be progress. But tap in with us on the weekend so you can get the instruction. I actually put the instructions today on my webpage, which is Malik_Reed_L on IG. So you can go get that information. It's going to be a 4-week program. And it's going to switch the program every 4 weeks so you can have progress. Something real simple.
Can you say that email again? Can you say that again?
That was on my IG at Malik_Reed_L on IG. Go get the program. I set it out today. We did one today, and we'll do one tomorrow morning, and that'll be the program for the next 4 weeks.
So I hope everybody got that, man. Like I said, at the BBT, we're mind, body, and spirit. We also have Monday Manifest, where we do group economics, and we talk about, different investments that we do. Like I said, our Temple and School, we took the time to purchase 10 acres. We did that together, and we just continue to be inspired. We're planning on putting our first structure on there real soon. Hey, who knows? We might end up going into a different endeavor and purchasing another 16 acres with a piece of a livable property on it. And who knows? Who knows? We have the option to do that because we a group, and that's a whole different type of contract. I want us to understand that too. So here at the BBT, we're not gatekeepers of information. You don't have to do nothing with us, but here, a workman is due his hire. If you're looking for land and things that you want land, like I said, we purchase land. We can show you how to do things, and that's what we're here to do, because we know good things come from sharing. And we don't have it all. We don't want it all. It's enough for everyone. That's why we show everybody how to set themselves up. If you have an idea, you want yourself set up the right way. So if you have a business idea, you want to be set up the right way with your EIN, your articles of organization, ETC. We do all that. Show you to register yourself on Bradstreet. Show yourself how to quick 30 accounts. Show yourself how to get your articles of organization. We ain't charging no dollars. We just ask for a small donation. And if you want how to get your web page set up and have a consultation with someone to show you how to do web design and set up your web page, my noble Alonzo Rael at ALO Designs, he'll discuss with you, his different processes, how you can hire him to help you do that. And so we are a real business here of brothers and sisters that love each other, and we just do real things, and it takes time. And we ask our brothers and sisters to support what we're doing. Also, as we close, we're going to start having raffles coming up real soon as I perfect how we're going to do this. Me and my noble Moso was talking about this as well, because we are MoorishHaberdasher.com, where you can get all your Moorish regalia and much, much more. We have fez, turbans, she-mags, just everything. And so we're going to be auctioning. We're going to be, doing raffles of fez, turbans, tunics, books, all other things that we have to offer here. We're going to be offering teas, because my noble, he's my son teas. And so we're going to be starting to raffle things to try to get some traction, and then try to do some giveaways. The raffle tickets will be like small $10. We won't be making no extra money. Like say if our fares cost $200, we'll do 10 raffle tickets. We'll do 20 raffle tickets for $10. Once that happens, bam, that'll be it. We ain't trying to, overflood and try to make no whole bunch of profit. We just want to put things in people's hands and give people opportunities to get something for a good price while supporting something that's real. And we're going to try to continue to do that on a continuous basis. So spread the news, man. And like I said, this is what we're trying to do as we take things to the next level. And like I said, brothers and sisters don't have fezzes. You don't have turbans, she-mags, your Moorish American regalia, books, so much more. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be raffling things off. We're going to have another turban tying class. Man, we might do that tomorrow before Sunday school. We might do a quick little 20 minutes of turban wrapping live. So I give gratitude to my brothers and sisters for trusting me. Let's just keep going, man. We got something good. And I'll give honor to each and one of y'all, man, as we go until this next era of life. And this next, this next round around the globe, per se. So I give honor to y'all, man. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace.
I want love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice at least. I need it for all my peace because it just isn't me. Unbuckle the shackles up off your mind, you just been released. How can I get you to save yourself if I can't get you to think? If wisdom is water, the water is well, but how can I get you to drink? We've been hoodwinked and blinded, kinda hard to get you to sleep. Cause I am not this world and I can't offer you glittery things. I don't have enough dollars to make you quit on your dreams.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Spade at bhspademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out moresachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking major. They made you think they saved you, but can't nobody save you.
He said, I don't have enough dollars to make you give up on your dreams. Oh my.
Oh, he's in love, no. Got that fire.